確実に仕留める。覚悟しな。飛ばしていきますか。天狼滅が余裕。まだまだいけるよ。どこまでも邪魔な連中だぜ。当然。
油断は禁物です。さらに真実いくよ。天月戦放流連が月星人放流月放流連が団。さすがです。月星人放流連が団。勝利の合図いきます。どうぞ。はい、頑張って。
ジタバタするなよ。余裕。
勝利の合図。ぶっ飛ばすからね。月星人放流連が団。
余裕。飛ばしていきますか。放流連が焼き尽くす。天狼滅が熱帯勝破。
ピコフ
放流連が団。顔撃。
手加減なし。手抜いちゃ失礼でしょ。
ジタバタするなよ。
月影人ささやく大地の側に
飛ばしていきますか。
他の者に与え
放流レイだ。放流レイだ。本気出したらこん力だ。
力合わせていきましょう。
総流連が食らっちまった。
もう一回来るわよ。
総流連がだ。顔撃
きらめく寛容な我が配中へ月影人
総流連がだ。
使うあがれ月が
総流連が
公衆月風撃寛容な
このままじゃ終わんねえぞ。
手加減できないの。排除排除
飛ばしていきますか。
リライト
顔撃総流連が総流連がだ。顔撃総流連が
このままじゃ無理だ。
火山機は
癒やしき闇よ退く勝利の合図いきます。どうぞ。はい。痛くしたらごめんなさい。
総流連が総流連が決まったな。飛ばしていきますか。総流連が腹くくれよ。
What's up, Dan? Have you played this game before? This is like my third or fourth playthrough of the game since it came out on 360. I forgot how shit this fight is. Fucking annoying. This fight's garbage. I might just put it back on normal. This fight's not fun. Why are flying enemies still allowed in video games? I will never understand. Man, he keeps getting off axis. Stay down, you asshole. You need to make bats like illegal to put in video games. They're always just such assholes. How much health does it have left? Still has 22k. I can't. The hitbox is so small. I can't combo it. Wow. Freaking Kokahazan doesn't hit him. Can't even get my guard cancels off. I'm too frustrated. Oh yeah, that infinite is definitely something I'll be using for the rest of this fight. It's so hard to get them down, their hitbox is so small. That was awful. Still got the drop from it, that's all that matters. Good as this game is, there are aspects of it that have not aged well, like, for instance, not being able to cancel out of actions. A lot of stuff is unsafe on hit. It's mostly the side quest design is what's really bad about this game. You can't, like, see a lot of the side content without actually having a guide open all the time. They didn't put a lot of effort into this remaster, so nothing in that regard was actually fixed, meaning that a lot of stuff's missable unless you glue yourself to a guide or you know the game by heart. A lot of it requires backtracking to like places you would never go, just like progressing normally, like a regular person. Like, at one point you had to go back all the way to the beginning of the game and do like 20 minutes of backtracking just to trigger a side quest with a random nobody NPC. There's no real reason why that side quest should not be available throughout the entire game. That NPC doesn't actually have any relevance to the overall story. Really weird design. Thankfully this is like one of the last games they made where they have that stupid design. Pretty much everything that came out after this, they kind of put a stop to stupid stuff like that. The problem is that there's lots of new side quests added. Oh, sick, I got that. Cool. That's one of his new moves. He did not have that in the original game. Yujin Show? I think so. Still can't make any more bow staffs, or bow staves, unfortunately. Alright, that's something I need to get, obviously. Alright, I'm gonna pull up the guide since I'm not watching the cutscenes. I've played this game so many times and I've seen the majority of the stuff that's new. A lot of it is pretty inconsequential. So let me pull up the guide so I know who to talk to so I can just get to the next part. Got a long way to go before I can play Judith, even though I have an art usage multiplier on. Yes, I'm doing that right now, actually. I don't always dual stream because like 90% of my viewership comes from my YouTube channel. I don't really stream often enough to take Twitch seriously. But yeah, you can dual stream. Let me give you the site. I'm actually doing it right now. I'm streaming on both YouTube and Twitch.
No.
Yeah, it's useful, you know, especially for people who aren't partnered. Most of the people that are partnered have contracts. I don't think they're allowed to dual stream. But no one seems to care if you do it when you're a Twitch affiliate, because most Twitch affiliates, myself included, don't make a dime off being an affiliate. It's not really a reliable source of income for most people. Especially with that massive payment threshold they have. You need to make $100 before they pay you even once, which I think is pretty shady. And I actually tell people to not subscribe to me on Twitch. It's better to just support me on Patreon. That way the money that people support me with, I actually get to see it. It doesn't just go to Amazon. They don't need any more money. Yeah, it's a $100 payment threshold if you're an affiliate, which means that someone has to subscribe to you 50 times. So if you only have like 2 subs, then it will take like 25 months to get paid out, and then it takes 45 days. It takes 45 days for them to pay out after that. So you're looking at like like over 2 years to get paid if you have something like actually realistic, like only a couple subs. There are people who are affiliates that actually do get paid every month, but it's definitely the minimum, like pretty situational thing. It's not something that happens regularly. I've never really thought thumbnails are important. I mean, from my perspective, or rather in my opinion, and I see people with those obvious clickbait titles and thumbnails, I'm far less likely to click on them. I've always thought, I mean, I could definitely prove it. I have like 10.5 million views on this channel. You don't need crazy thumbnails. It does make the video look more professional, but I don't really think it's necessary. Especially if you're doing like game guides and stuff. Even just raw gameplay, you know, sometimes raw gameplay does well too. And the biggest mistake people make when they start a channel is they buy like thousands of dollars of equipment. And you don't need to do that. I always feel bad when people do that because I know that there's such a high chance of them never actually breaking even, basically. Should always start with like basically nothing, just do what you can. Luckily now with stuff like the PS4 and Xbox One, you can get started with literally nothing. Just buy a PS4 and a cheap mic and have decent internet. That's all you need. But when I started, you needed to buy equipment, but I bought like the cheapest shit possible. I had like a $40 DVD recorder a friend of mine bought me from Best Buy. That was how I started making videos. I've been making them before then, but that was like my first direct feed console solution I had. That was like 12 years ago. Hey, I see people on Twitch, on like Twitter and stuff, say that they're gonna start out, they're gonna take streaming seriously, and they spend like $3,000 on the setup or something. Like, that's a good way to get like burnt out. And if it doesn't work out, you know, you still have a good gaming PC, but you don't really need to spend that much to start. It's definitely a lot easier to do it than when I started.
さあ、もう行きましょう。あんた怖い顔。
飛ばしていきますか。
その微笑みを我が月人ナーキンピエンゲット報酬月空撃空撃を他の者に与えようフラッシュ弱点報酬月
Damn it, man, they're only attacking me. That's what I hate about this game. They have the fucking Super Robot Wars AI where they only attack the player. I need to take Judith out of the party. She's dead weight. Okay.
上がり
報酬月その微笑みを我は誘惑の輪の我が空中へトラクター
ぶっ飛べ
白き天の不安措置その微笑みを我はレンゲ時間
さん
リヴァイ総流連が
ほらやるわよ。はい、やったわね。やりました。これは
I mean, if you use the computer for other things, then there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a lot of people, they think too far ahead and they buy like super expensive computers and don't realize that it'll take forever to break even unless you get really lucky. That's the biggest mistake people make with like trying to start doing this stuff. I'm glad that like technology has progressed to a point where you can actually get started with basically nothing, but if you do want to be taken seriously, you do actually need good equipment. It's just a matter of getting to the point where that's actually something that's worth investing in, and I think people kind of skip that part. They just go straight to buying super expensive stuff. As fun as it is to buy that stuff, you just might not see any return of investment anytime soon. I spent a ton on my computer last summer. And it's still gonna be like probably like 4 or 5 more months before I start breaking even in terms of how much I make and how much I spent. And even then I had to get help from a friend to pay for like half of it. But I knew it was a good decision because I am at the point where I do make a decent amount from doing this. I'm not rich or anything, but it's enough that I can actually spend money on the channel and make it back. Might not always be every pay cycle, but it's enough. I don't even think you need a webcam, honestly. I've never really thought a webcam adds much to the stream. Personally, it's why I don't bother with one. I think it's better to just focus on the game. I think in general most people are just interested in seeing the game, unless you're like a really funny, charismatic person and you have like funny reactions and stuff and you're not just faking it. I don't think a webcam adds that much. I mean, on the PS4 you don't have to worry about the whole real estate thing of where do you put the camera and not like obstruct the view of the game, but still. Hand cams are cool, you know, if you play like really technically advanced games, like fighting games or like DMC or something like that, hand cams can be actually really useful, so that people can see like exactly how you do all that stuff. But just dude staring at a screen, I've never really seen that as something I need to be doing. Props to the people who do well with that kind of thing. I'm just not that person. Let's see. No, people love watching unboxing videos and stuff. I'm just not really much of a collector, so I don't do that kind of thing myself, but it is interesting. Same reason why people watch people like spend like thousands of dollars on loot boxes and stuff. It's very addicting to watch that kind of thing. It's just most people don't want to actually spend that money and potentially make nothing out of it, so they watch other people do it. It doesn't help that collector's editions are so shitty now. They're not even worth buying. They sell you like random cheap plastic trinkets. They aren't even like made good quality. I've seen so many collector's editions and people are always shocked when they don't actually look like what they advertise. Say, oh, here's this cool figure you get, and then the game comes out, you look on Twitter and there's all these people, it looks like a dollar store, like, Chinese bootleg figure. Like, why would I spend $100 on that? It's just a waste of money. Just give me the game. Well, the problem with like big items like that is that the retailers will often like get rid of them really quickly because of how much like space they take up in the store. So if you have this giant ass box and no one's buying it, then what's going to happen more often than not is that they will just mark it down until someone does buy it. Like that Starlink game. I know that game like didn't really have a lot of hype around it, but it's already like $30. It hasn't even been out for like 6 months, I think. It may have been less than 6 months. And the game's already like $20, $30 because it comes in a gigantic box, and the people who own the stores don't want something in there that big that doesn't sell when they could put like probably a dozen other games in that same space that would sell for a lot more money. Big chunk of my Switch games are ones that are heavily discounted because of that, because I exclusively play niche games, so they get rid of that stuff really quickly. I got Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack for $30. The price on that has actually gone up because they discontinued it. The publisher that puts out those games actually doesn't make like gigantic print runs for them.
上等じゃねえか。守ってちょうだい。分かった、任せろ。
油断は禁物です。揺らめくブレージン。
考えるのは時間の無駄。
うったたくが勝ち。排除排除。勝利の合図いきます。
まだまだ。
やってやる。
飛ばしていきますか。
こんなのどうです？
これな。
Oh, it's on now. I got Don Kuga. It's on now. Now I can actually do some cool shit. I don't know if I have enough uses in Kokahazan to actually do the cancel. I think it's 200 uses. Let me check. Let me hit up the Eucelia wiki really quick and see exactly how many I need. So otherwise he doesn't cancel off the second hit. So Ryujin Sho does not have any extra properties. Tiger Blade, yeah, you only need 200 uses, so I should be able to go Kokahazan into Dankuga. Oh, I need 100 uses, that's why it's not working. Alright, might as well grind that out now. It's only going to take 20 uses because I have the cheat engine multiplier on. What is the command for it again? Later. Whoa, the stuttering! What's going on? Hello. Nothing. I'm just playing the game. I'm not watching any of the cutscenes because I've seen them before. Not really a let's play stream. Ah, there we go. Nice. I should probably grind out in Senga while I'm here.
力合わせていきましょう。
Senga!
さすがです。
本気出したらこんなもん。
あそこ。
See how many uses I need in Senga to actually get Shining Fang drop. Okay, so I need Athener. It's in the title, should be the game being played.
なんだよこいつは。
できれば関わりたくないです。みんな。
Ah, this dude's hitbox is so bad.
飛ばしていきますか。
その微笑みを我ら大地のざわめき。
Why does this dude have such a shit hitbox? So hard to hit him. Hitbox is like not even like represented properly by the character model. I'm gonna go ahead and reset. Let's put that on normal. That boss is a pain in the ass. I really don't feel like fighting it legitimately. You have to be like perfectly aligned with it for it to not just randomly drop out of your combos. The hitbox is so weird. Restart the game. Playing most of this game on hard mode, but there's certain bosses I just no interest in doing so. Outbreaker's always been a shit boss. At least Gattuso, as much of a difficulty spike as he is, his hitbox is actually pretty normal. Might be better to take Judith, actually. Try one more time with Judith, and if this goes south, then I'm just gonna put it on normal.
なんだよこいつは。
できれば関わりたくないです。みんな頑張んなさいよ。やるしかないよ。スプラッシュ。きらめいて。思いついたの。
Look at that! That should have hit him, but since the hitbox is so strict and weird, it didn't work. It's actually on normal mode right now, it's just totally fine by me. This boss is not fun. Lots of fun bosses after this I can play on hard mode on. Even the Fatal Strike didn't hit. Getting crystals is basically just playing on chaos mode. There's no other fast way to do it unless you get a pandemonium battle. Go ahead and tab out to the guide. No, next major fight is Bellius. That's gonna take a while, so I think I'm actually gonna play something else now. That's enough Vesperia for today. It's gonna be a lot of talking and running. I'd rather do that off camera, so let me figure out if I want to play something else. And the game will start to pick up again. And then after that is the hunting blades. Ah, shit, I don't have my controller support on. I'm sorry. I have to restart the game. Give me a second. Closer's controller support's not great. Alright, 1 second. I'm just gonna do some dungeons here to farm up a loot box, and then I think I'm done for tonight. I was hoping there'd be a Dynasty Warriors 9 patch tonight, but it seems like it's not gonna happen until next week. It's quickly approaching Saturday over in Japan, so they don't work weekends, so it's gonna be at least another 2 days before there's anything. Well, on the 31st, we're getting the What If costumes. The What If costumes and the hypothetical scenarios. I don't know if I really want to pay for that, though. If they fix Zushu's moveset to not be so shitty, then maybe. I won't be able to get it on release day anyway, so I'm broke right now. Oh, maybe that's when they'll patch it. Yeah, they promised a bunch of stuff this season. There's only like 2 more weeks left in the month, and they haven't added like even half of it yet. So I'm curious what they're doing. So all that stuff sounds pretty cool. You're talking about like new accessories and all kinds of other stuff, new gems, and then something called the growth system, which could be anything. Sounds awesome, but there's no information on it. Okay, so I think I need 23 more runs to get that loot box for the week. Let me see how many I have on my alt. So I can easily do that in like 10 minutes. It doesn't take long, and then that'll be it for tonight. I think I have a couple tokens on him. I only have 3 on him, so yeah, I will need 20 more runs.
そんなんじゃ物足りないわ。
I honestly don't think they'll do an Empires. I think that's like the last thing they need to be doing. The amount of work it would take to make something like that actually interesting is probably better off towards just making another game or an XL. The Empires games are niche. Like, Dynasty Warriors is already niche, and then the Empires games are even more niche. A lot of people like myself don't really care for all the strategy stuff. You know, we just play it because it's a 3D beat 'em up. I don't really think it's a good idea for them to make that. If they did, it should be just like DLC or something. But I think making a standalone spin-off of that would not be as good as people think. And from what I hear from the people that do like Empires, the past few have not even been good, so you take that kind of negative reception and you put it on Dynasty Warriors 9, and even if it does turn out, people aren't even going to give it a chance. problem is they need to not revert it back to the old game style. They've done that twice already. They need to actually stick with actually making a major change, and that's one of the reasons why the franchise has been just... I can't call it stagnant, it's just it hasn't progressed as much as it should. Because every time they actually make a good change, you know, the problem is that it's not good right away, and people can't understand that the massive amount of characters that the game has really makes it difficult for them to actually do anything drastic. But then people bitch and moan and complain, and they just go and they backpedal and they put it back to the way it was. They need to stick with the current combat system. I think it's great. It just needs more variety. The thing that the state combo system is lacking the most is just simply variety. The moveset is very small, and a lot of them pretty much have like very similar properties. But there's nothing that couldn't be fixed with, you know, iterating and improving on it. But all people want is for them to just go back to the old system. It's like, well, that's not going to solve anything either. It's just going to put things back to the way they've already been for 15 years now. It is imperative for them to actually stick with something for once and stop going back. Dynasty Warriors 9 is something I can still play because I've progressed to the point where I don't have to interact with the open world. If that game didn't have such lax and, you know, pretty easy, fast travel, then I would not play it at all. And I really hope whatever project they've been teasing lately is not just going to be them making Dynasty Warriors 10 and then going back to being the same thing again. That's just going to set things back again. They already did that with 6 to 7. Like, they should have kept that system. As shitty as Renbu was, it's nothing that they couldn't have improved over time, but they took the negative reception from the community way too seriously, and they just went back again. Which is why things have taken so long to actually improve. If you play the game long enough, all the battles take place in the same areas. I never have to travel in that game for more than, like, not even 30 seconds most of the time. It's no different than the old load screens, really. It's just you have to get to the point where you can fast travel. And that's why I think making an Empires is pointless, because the open world is so dead and empty. And the power creep that they've added to the game has made the open world have even less relevance. So unless they do some massive overhaul to the open world, it's not going to be interesting to play an Empires game. I find it really odd that people are asking for that. The game's not really set up for it in its current state. Movesets are also not large enough to really warrant playing one character for that long. The problem with Renbu is it was literally just button mashing. You couldn't even change square attacks into triangle attacks anymore. I thought it was very boring. But it also came with some nice things like universal dodge canceling and things like that. It took them like 10 years to put that back in. I don't know why. That's what I'm talking about. They scrapped all the good parts of Renbu and they just went back to the old PS2 combat. Which was not entirely a good thing. I mean, it was kind of a band-aid fix. It got people to buy the games again, but I know, now they're starting from scratch again. They should have just stuck with the overhaul of 6 and iterated on that for a decade instead of changing it like twice. Need 11 more runs, so probably like 10 more minutes of this. The Renbu was a good idea. The problem was that there was no depth to it. All it was just button mashing. It was exactly what all the stupid American reviewers kept saying the series was, even though it never really has been a button masher. Especially in the older games where the difficulty was a lot higher than it is now. You know, if you're just mashing buttons, you get killed. But all Renbu was basically just mashing the square button because you could not really do anything else. There was no depth or combos anymore, really. It was just pushing the same button endlessly. It just sucks that they took out all the good stuff from it, like the universal dodge canceling, the throws and stuff. That stuff was really cool. But I guess the suits of the company just decided to never even use any of those mechanics again, for whatever reason. Needed to make it less button mashy, make the combat actually have some depth, and it would have been fine. If I remember correctly, in 6 Empires they made it so the Renbu gauge didn't go down anymore. That fixed one of the issues too. What controller do I use? PS4 controller. He got killed in the cutscene. Wow, this badass intro got him killed. Yes, but Sengoku Basara had to basically cut out half the cast to have that amazing battle system. But every time they cut characters out of Dynasty Warriors, people complain. Call it like sacrilege or whatever. So that's part of the problem too, is the fan base is too obsessed with how many characters there are instead of how good the actual gameplay is. The developers are in a rock and a hard place, and a lot of it is their fault, but a lot of it is the fault of the fans too, for wanting 50 characters every single game when there don't need to be that many. It's all glitched out. And do so much damage to him that he goes into his counter attack. His counter phase. But since it's in a cutscene, I can't move the character, so he actually hits me while it has that dynamic camera. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, one of the things they could have done to have less clones in Dynasty Warriors 9 was to not even bother with having everyone have a story mode. A lot of them are like not even an hour long, even if you watch the cutscenes. Most of them actually repeat the exact same missions and they have like very little actual input in the story. They're just kind of there. Now, I think that's one way they could have reduced their workload considerably, but people complain when they do that too, so I really don't know what the alternative was. If they cut out like all the useless characters like Basara and then just like put them in later and revamp them and make the combat better, I would be totally down with that. You know, cutting all those characters out of Basara sucked, but the game was better for it. But the Koei fan base is a lot more obsessed with numbers than the Basara fan base is. Now, the Basara fan base also does not get anywhere near as many games. It's coming up on 3 years since the last one, and the last one was a shitty game, so we'd be happy for anything at this point. But Koei games come out regularly enough that people get picky and don't understand how games are actually made and make like ridiculous requests and stuff like that. Alright, last run. Exactly. Yeah, I made a little money off that. I think I could make like 15 million off that or something. That's not bad. I'll take it. I don't know if that article is actually true, because that article said, I know the article you're talking about. It said that there was supposed to be an announcement last year, and obviously we're in 2019 now, and there's nothing. I don't know if that was just a mistranslation or something. That often happens with Japanese games. People will take something with a literal translation, like maybe we're thinking about making a game, or we're considering making one by the end of the year, and then the clickbait sites will go, oh well, they said they're going to make one. It's like, well, they didn't actually say that. I think that's what happened. Alright, let me see if I want to do something else. I'm just gonna chill for 8 minutes and grab my loot boxes. The resets in about 7-8 minutes. So, I'll leave the stream on. And then I'm gonna crash. Thor for Orochi. The problem with making any kind of add-on to Orochi is that they already made that stupid decision to put all the crossover characters into Musou Stars. That game both sucked and didn't sell. So that basically locks them out. If they actually stick to what they said and they don't put them in, that locks them out of a ton of characters that they can recycle. They would have to make completely new characters. The only ones they could really port over would be the Spirit of Sanada ones, which a lot of people are wondering why they're not in the game. It doesn't really make sense why they're not there, because they're already done. Everything else in the game is basically recycled assets anyway, but they explicitly said that they were not going to put crossover characters in Orochi anymore. I don't understand why. No one asked for Musou Stars. It had some cool ideas, but it was very dumbed down. The customization and the combat was just not where I wanted it to be. I finished the game once and decided I was done. There wasn't enough there for me to consider doing, like, challenge runs or anything like I normally do. I don't know if they're going to bother making another one of those or not. No one really wanted the first one. I got like a $30 donation back when it came out that I used to pay for it, and if I had not gotten that, I wouldn't have bothered with it. It didn't even do well for my channel either. Normally, anytime I play any Musou game, if I actually put effort into it, you know, it definitely grows my channel. At the very least, I get some good, you know, some good ad revenue for a while, which is totally cool with me. But that game, there's no interest in it at all. I didn't really put out a lot of videos for it, but just there wasn't really anything to make videos of. That was the main issue. It's basically just playing through the same content a bunch of times to get plot threads and characters you've already unlocked before. You just were unlocking the same 20 characters ad nauseum. It's not interesting. I think that was a dumb decision on their part to just say, oh, we're not going to do crossovers anymore in Orochi. And it's obvious that's what people actually want. about 2 minutes here. I'm gonna grab my loot boxes and decide if I want to do anything else. People really like the first Neo. I never really played it. It's not really my kind of game, but it's cool that they are able to make a Souls-type game that's not so dreadfully slow and boring. There's actually like some speed and execution to it, which I think is pretty cool. A lot of the Souls clones have really boring combat, just like the regular Dark Souls games. I wish people would realize that you can have something be challenging and fast-paced and require execution. But anything that's fast-paced gets instantly labeled as a button masher, which I've always hated. I hate when people do that. It's like, just because something is fast-paced doesn't mean it's devoid of skill. It's usually the opposite. You need to have, like, your reactions on point and know exactly what to do when. Especially when you have a large moveset. That takes even more focus. Alright, reset's about to happen any second now. Let me read log, switch characters.
お兄さんの力が必要か?
There we go. Why is it not giving me my mail? It's weird. I want to get my other loot box. There it is. Oh wow, a 3-star piece. Nice, that's some good money. Yeah, I was going to continue playing that game in Forced Pandemonium mode to make the game challenging, but the cheat engine table stopped working when they did that final update. So I haven't really had much of a desire to play it. I like the combat. I don't like some of the changes that they made, but the game is fun to play. It's just that there's nothing to really do. I got like the worst possible thing. Oh well. Whoa, why is it all glitched out? It's weird. Ah, there we go. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and do, I think I have a quest to finish one run of Yad, and then I'm done for tonight. Let me see if the reward is even worth doing. Oh, that's not worth it at all. Alright, I think I'm done for tonight. Gonna chill out the rest of the night, grab a snack, relax. I'm also coughing a lot because of my acid reflux, so as you know, that stuff gets worse at night. So I'll probably be on in the morning. I'll go through some more Vesperia. I already paid for Dragon Mark for Death. I don't know if I'm getting a content creator key. I don't know how they operate their company. You know, some companies are actually cool with giving keys to smaller channels like mine, but then other ones only want to give it to big people. So I did apply for one. I don't know if I'll get one, but either way, that's coming in 2 weeks from today. So that'll be the next major thing I'm doing. Vesperia is just kind of something chill for me to do. I'm not really making any guides for it or anything. I actually made a lot of the big guides myself like 10 years ago when the game first came out. So I'll probably be playing that, some closers. Yeah, that's basically it. So thanks for stopping by. I might come back a little bit later tonight after I take my meds if I can't sleep. I might do some more Vesperia or something, but that is it for now. So I will see you guys probably in the morning. I am supposed to be going out with my buddy Vic for, I guess, either lunch or dinner. That's the only thing I have planned tomorrow, so I'll probably do a long Vesperia session. See you later. Actually, let me see if there's somebody I can host. Do I have any viewers on Twitch right now? Let me check. Alright, I'm done for now. I'll see you guys probably in the morning.